Gas, resources and agricultural exports will be booming by 2050, a confidential report into the Prime Minister's net zero climate plan reveals. The modelling presented to Cabinet paints a picture of Australian exports as higher in both value and volume by the middle of the century. Mr Morrison has told MPs that a net zero target at the upcoming Glasgow conference will strengthen Australia's relationships with other Western countries, something needed now more than ever. Any changes to Australia's 2030 Paris Agreement have been ruled out by the government to retain the national support. The Prime Minister is working to close a deal with coalition partners for a net zero by 2050 target to take an international climate summit in 2 weeks' time. But the Nationals have warned their Liberal colleagues they won't be rushed into backing anything.
The Prime Minister facing a familiar roadblock on his way to Parliament. His car narrowly avoiding climate protesters outside the building, but there was no escaping the issue inside.
Why does the Prime Minister always go missing when leadership is required?
Under our government, we're taking the decisions that are necessary to...
Scott Morrison is under pressure to lock in a new emissions reduction policy. His deadline is his departure for the Glasgow World Climate Conference in a fortnight's time, but the Nationals aren't convinced just yet.
We're our own party, but we're not chained to a coalition.
The junior coalition partner met for the second time in as many days on Monday. It's yet to reach an agreement on net zero.
It's a case of making sure that we do the right thing by the people who have sent us here to Canberra to represent them.
In the Nationals party room of 21 MPs and senators, familiar faces arguing climate ambitions could cost jobs in regional Australia are showing the most resistance.
Right now, it's a no. But discussions are ongoing.
There are a lot of things missing from what we've been told, and in a way, we seem to be being asked to marry a girl that we haven't met.
Others are open to a deal.
We need a credible position on climate change, and I believe the net zero position is where the whole world is heading, obviously.
Privately, the Prime Minister is making the case for net zero, telling the Liberal party room it's in the interest of national security that Australia adopts a target by Glasgow, which he could do even without the Nationals.
Why has the Prime Minister given the Deputy Prime Minister and the National Party a veto?
The government's decision on the government's commitments for Australia in relation to COP26 will be made by the government in Cabinet, Mr Speaker, in Cabinet. That's where it will be made.
Some moderate Liberals agree, saying the decision should be up to the majority of coalition colleagues, not the minority.
That will be a judgment call for him, but in my view, yes, that's what he should do.
On Tuesday, the Liberals and Nationals will come together for a joint party room meeting where a decision may well be made. But if the protracted history of Canberra's energy wars is anything to go by, any deal will have its detractors making their displeasure known. Andrea Crothers, Sky News, Canberra.